aren't visual effects because we aren't Corridor Digital. Today, we're building Mira's Gok-Do from Kpop Demon Hunters with fully programmable LEDs. And we're going to show you how it's done, and how you can get your own Gok-Do, as well as Rumi swords and Zoe's knives too. Welcome back to Galactic Armory. Hey folks, I'm Jamie, and yeah, we've been kind of obsessed with Kpop Demon Hunters. So much so that we needed to do a really big tutorial and really pull out all the stops for this build.
Or a push button thing?
I would say momentary push button
involvement in this project.
I don't know if that can be...
Now we really want this weapon to light up, like the blade is made from the very Hanmoon itself, and it needs to be as accurate as possible to the film. To do that, we're going to need a design, starting with our very own Danny G here, building on a model of the glaive to be 3D printed. And we need to fit in a lot of electronics, of course. This is a small package, but we're going to need a lot of wires, LEDs, an Arduino, a Bluetooth connector to control all of that. That means more than a few design revisions along the way to get things to fit just right. And now, much like Huntrix, this is a team effort. So I'm going to be kicking it over to our very own Sean Bradley, who's going to be your idol for this build. Yes, this bit's going to be in the entire video. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
So light up blades are nothing new to me. I've been making energy swords for many years with my electronics guru, Kane. But the Gok-Do is a bit of a special challenge because it is such a narrow weapon. So the first thing we need are our blades, and we've got a couple of options. We could simply cut it out of flat plastic and paint it, or we could 3D print it in glowing filament like these Zoe knives. But because we want this thing to be a real showstopper, we want it to light up and be astonishingly bright, we decided we're going to go with LEDs, and for that, we're going to need transparent blades. So to do that, we're actually going to use the process of vacuum forming, which is the heating of a sheet of plastic that is then pulled over top of a form, and then all of the air is sucked out. Basically leaves you with a thin copy of the form that you've made. And we actually have some pretty cool equipment that we're going to show you how that's done. So the form that we shape our plastic over top of is called a buck. And bucks are generally made out of cast materials. So in order to do that, first thing we're going to do is print out our blade halves and then sand them, smooth them, and then we're going to mold and cast them in a more durable resin material that will stand up to the heat and pressure of the vacuum former.
Say it.
That's how it's done.
Yeah! Yeah! Sorry. Mira here. Hi. So this all looks pretty complicated, but don't worry, we got you. All of these blades are now on sale at galacticarmory.net for you to buy and use at home. They're pretty complicated to make, but we got you. It takes a lot of strategy, but we'll show you how. Anyway, follow me back to Sean.
And after all that work, our bucks are finally done. So we're going to head over to our vacuum former and get cooking on these blades. All right, so this is our industrial vacuum former that we have here at Galactic. It is a wonderful machine. It also is terrific for making vacuum form armor and all kinds of things. Perfect for what we're doing here with this project. The whole process of making these bucks for vacuum forming the parts for the Gok-Do are just, it's all been smooth sailing. So,
Sean, would you say that we're golden?
we are golden.
Now, as Sean finishes up the vacuum form blades, we're making a quick stop over to engineering land, where Ron is working on getting our glaive its magical glow.
We're really trying to get that flowing kind of energy aesthetic from the movie into real life with tight constraints. The glaive is literally like 90% of it is literally just a really long light bulb. Like that's all it really is. But the Pommel contains everything of importance. The microcontrollers in there, a voltage divider is in there, all the connections for the LEDs themselves, and just bringing in power and all that, that's all down there. Then the other LED that goes at the bottom, the jewel, that's all down there. So it's just LED strip, batteries, LED strip, LED strip.
And while it is just a big light bulb, behind the LEDs is a sequence of animation code done by our friend Kane. He also did our life-size arbiter sword. All of this is to mean our Gok-Do will have animations that change the different light sequences. And of course, a party mode, because we're born to be glowing.
I mean, the Bluetooth protocols and those connections, they're kind of interesting. We structured it in such a way that's like, okay, here's the animations, you know, heroic, whatever, and then we're just asking it to call, like, you know, play the heroic function when you hit 1, you know, on the Bluetooth interface and all those kinds of things. So it's very simple. The acrylic tube is probably a much superior choice to anything we could have made 3D printed, mainly because it's transparent and it's reasonably strong and it's not too rigid such that you can't flex it, because we need a little bit of give if you're going to be twirling it around. The last thing you want is for it to just shear and then you're kind of done. So the acrylic tube has reasonable strength for what our purposes are, and it's great for letting light pass through.
And with just a little bit of diffusion paper, we achieved a really nice glow on our first camera tests. And speaking of the tube, let's head back to Sean to see what is going on with those overlays.
Okay, so we've printed everything out on our print farm in very nice high flow PETG. These parts still need to be sanded, but they do fit over top of our acrylic rod, which will give the Gok-Do its iconic look. We do need to sand these, however. So the next step is we're going to show you how to do that. Okay, first I'm starting with pre-sanding at 180 grit using some emery boards. Pre-sanding is really helpful here because it knocks down all of the high points in the layer lines of the 3D print, which means less sanding for later. After that, we're moving on to automotive icing. The icing is a polyester filler that's much stronger than other fillers like Bondo, and it's really great for fixing details, support scarring, or just pesky spots that Bondo can't seem to fix. And it's very easy to sand. So after it's cured, we're going back to 180 grit sandpaper to smooth out those spots. Now, I just mentioned icing was better than Bondo, but when it comes to general filling, Bondo or similar fillers also work great for all around filling. So I'm applying a smooth, thin layer around the general areas. After that, we head on to 220 grit and spray our first filler primer. We really love using Seymour filler primer for this, mainly because it dries in 15 to 20 minutes and it fills in all the tiny layer lines left over. Finally, we're going to do some quick cleanup, sanding our pieces to 400 grit. And now that all the parts are finished, we're going to start prepping these for paint.
Now, one other tricky part of this Gok-Do is that under the pommel is this really intricate glowing end cap. Now, rather than vacuum forming that, I've gone ahead and fully 3D printed this using Anycubic high clear resin, and then polished it from 2000 grit from this all the way to this, much clearer.
So Jamie and I sat down and, sorry, can I get the mic a little higher? Thank you. Jamie and I sat down and had a long talk about paint options. And what we found is that Pagan Gold is actually the best option that we have to represent the deep, rich color of both Mira and Rumi's weapons. So with all of our pieces done, I'm spraying all of our parts in matte black to unify them, followed by a 2K clear coat and then a mix of Pagan Gold and a Lumiluster to get this really amazing gold finish. Another thing that we realized that we needed was a shape inside the vacuum form blades to act as a guide for the LEDs. So we cut a simple shape out of plexiglass for that purpose. But since then, we've actually added it to the release files so that you can print it out in clear PETG to serve the same purpose.
After weeks of sanding, painting, coding, and electrical work, Sean and Ron begin the final assembly, bringing together all of the parts we've worked so hard to craft. Each piece representing hours of problem solving and testing to bring this weapon to life. And with that, we at Galactic Armory give you Mira's Gok-Do from Kpop Demon Hunters.
Would you like to see it turn on?
Yeah, I mean, then let's see the show.
Okay, so.
Oh my God. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is like the hero mode with the purple and blue banding.
You mean there's different modes?
There's many different modes. So it goes from this into the same thing. It's kind of like a fire or
demon mode.
Yeah, demon mode. There we go. This is kind of a breathing purple.
Yeah,
does a little bit of
subtle.
flickering, kind of like water-like color.
That's cool.
And of course, you have to have golden.
Oh, okay.
So this
right.
is,
End of the movie sort of vibes.
Golden mode.
Golden mode.
And same thing in purple white.
Oh, really? Like really strong pulses.
Yeah, like so it's really charged up.
Got it.
And
Armory energy.
You have to have party mode.
Party mode.
So,
I kind of love party mode, I'm not gonna lie. Oh wow, it goes down.
So this is what you set it to this when you're going to the rave.
Yeah, of course. Feel like I can kill an army of demons, but fall in love with one of them.
And I really like the acrylic rod that it's on. It has some support. There's a little bit of like bounce to it.
But wasn't there bounce in the actual film as well? Like you can see her like swing off of it. It is amazing. It's beautiful. It feels sturdy. Wow, and the pattern actually shows really well. Like, and it like appears when you rotate it and move it.
Yeah, I kind of like that effect. It's not overpowering.
Yeah, it should almost be holographic.
Kind of like a crystalline.
Crystalline,
Etching in the blade.
Good word. Good word.
Yeah, so we made it. Now what do we do with it?
Yeah, as I move it around, I become like more confident about it. Like it feels good.
Yeah, it has a nice form factor to it, and the balance is right near the center. We put the batteries right along here to sort of counteract all of the weight, so it's right around there.
Yeah, let's get some scale. Put it to the ground and damn.
It's like a 7-foot-long energy sword.
Yeah, that's why you're the man for the job, Sean.
It came up pretty well, but there is a lot of things that if we had it to do again, that I would do differently. I see ways to improve it.
We probably do have to make another one. And if you're a Mira cosplayer out there, hit us up because we want to make another one of these that's fit for really swinging around.
Well, it could not have done this without everybody's help. This was a team project.
It definitely came together as a team. Like Huntrix. Yeah! Bringing it all back.
We added the bells on there at the end. It's very cool that you found actual brass bells.
Yeah.
But we wanted them to match, the color of everything. But they have actual little
tigers on
tiger
them.
faces on them.
And so when you're swinging this around, the bells are ringing? Yeah. Hey, this is what it sounds like. Ding! All right, this has been a fantastic build. Sean, you, Ron, even Josh far away, did an incredible job getting this piece done.
Thank you so much. And it's working with a very talented team of people is really what has made all the difference. So I'm very appreciative to be working with all of you.
Yeah, you utterly knocked it out the park. And you know what? It turned out it was a perfect training ground for our upcoming project, which is the transforming Predator sword from the upcoming Predator Badlands. So keep an eye out for that. Follow us here at Galactic Armory. And really well done to the whole team. So, my soda pop, anyone know what that is?
You're my soda pop, Jamie.
And of course a party mode, because we're born to be glowing. Whoa. But you see, the actual lyric is born to be golden. And then at the end, literally the last couple lines, it says born to be glowing.
Now, sorry, can I get the mic a little higher? Thank you.
You gotta continue.
What?